Hey guys, and welcome back to another episode of the Movie Mates podcast. Shit.
Nah, keep it in, Matthew. This is real. This is.
Am I keeping this in?
Yeah, this is.
Damn
raw.
it! I meant to say mini review, guys. I'm very sorry. So yeah, I'll let you take it away with what we're going to be discussing today, bud.
So minutes ago we got home. We don't share a home.
I wish.
We got back to mine after seeing Birds of Prey.
Yeah, we did. Yeah.
And the fantabulous emancipation of one Harley Quinn, to give it its full title.
Yeah.
And
We'll probably leave it to Birds of Prey in
it
this
really
title.
does feel like a Harley Quinn film.
Oh, absolutely. I couldn't agree more.
I think they should really just drop the Birds of Prey part.
Yeah.
But Birds of Prey is how we'll refer to it throughout the video. So we're gonna give you our non-spoiler thoughts and our spoiler thoughts, and we'll have the sections in the description for you to skip around to if you haven't seen the film.
As always, yeah. First mini review of the year for us. First film we've actually seen this year together.
Is it?
Think so. Yeah, it's the first time I've been to the movies this year.
All right. Yeah.
But no, we're hopefully to be reviewing a lot more films this year, guys. And yeah, just the standard format of non-spoiler then spoiler, basically. So.
I was looking back on our back catalogue, and I thought we'd gotten behind on our schedule of sort of doing bi-weekly podcasts, but I looked back, and by this point in the year, actually by March time, we should have only had like 20 done, and we'll have like 21 or 22. So
really?
we're actually ahead of schedule.
Not too bad, yeah. Is that podcast and mini reviews or?
Oh, just podcasts.
Podcasts, yeah, that's good. Yeah, so basically trying to get more content out for you guys. Obviously, this week is the mini review. We're recording this on the Saturday. I'll get it up on the Sunday, hopefully. Yeah.
Yeah.
And be sure to like, subscribe, all that good stuff, guys. And Timecodes as always are in the description. So, bud, do you want to kick us off with your non-spoiler thoughts on Birds of Prey?
Yeah, so I thought as we can obviously examine the plot, we'd just go through characters for the most part.
Sure,
and
that's good.
What we thought of the performances of each individual character and how they, help the plot along.
Yeah, let's do it.
So I had first Black Mask, which I think is the highlight of the film.
Absolutely, couldn't agree more. Go ahead.
I just think it's the most incredible villain performance probably in the DCU so far.
You know what? Looking back, I'd have to second that, yeah. Ewan McGregor's a fantastic actor, but I didn't realise the range he had. Obviously, we've seen in the Star Wars prequels as well, at his role as Obi-Wan, like, he can play like a serious character, but in this, you can tell he's having so much fun with his performance, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, the one thing that I would criticise it for is that I think having to do the American accent sort of restrained him.
Yeah.
I mean, imagine, like, how big a character would have been if he'd been able to use just his Scottish accent.
I wouldn't have taken away anything from the character for me, even.
I know, are there any people who are such fans of Black Mask that they would contend that he must be American?
No, I doubt it, to be honest. Like, but I think he was just fantastic in this film. Like, he's really comedic, great lines, and it sort of did remind me. I suppose it is intentional to be a bit like Jared Leto's Joker. I don't know if you got that as well. There are certain undertones of that, I think.
Yeah, I mean, obviously the story is about Harley Quinn's breakup with the Joker, so I suppose it is about her just moving from menacing adversarial men to another. Yeah. And sort of the monotony of that in her life and how she wants to escape that in the end.
Yeah, you're 100% right though. Like, I would say he's definitely the best villain and portrayal in the DCU.
Are there any that like even come close? I mean,
I think Zod's good.
Zod's good. Black Manta was pretty decent.
Oh yeah, Black Manta. Forgot about Black Manta.
But I think really the suit of Black Manta carries the performance. I don't actually really remember how good Yahya Abdul-Mateen II was.
Yeah, Ocean Master's okay, standard.
Yeah. But I think for a human character who had to entirely rely on his acting and performance rather than CGI and fight scenes, he absolutely carried it.
Couldn't agree more, bud.
I don't know how good this film would have been without him, honestly.
I think it would have dragged a lot more, he carries a lot of scenes.
I think if it was a slightly blander villain, I don't think the film would have worked.
No, definitely not. He certainly has a lot of levity in his scenes, but also, like, he's a sort of character, like, you wouldn't want to mess with. Like, he can just switch like that to, like, pure aggression, which I do like in his performance.
So next I had Harley. These aren't in order of how they affected the plot, but did you like Harley in this film?
I did like her this film, 100%. I do have a few critiques with the character though.
Yeah, sure, go.
I'll start with the negatives. It's few and far between. There's barely any. I think her Margot Robbie's Brooklyn accent is a bit iffy.
Oh, it's
from time to time.
poor. Yeah.
Her voice, like her natural accent, it is a mix of Australian and British, I suppose, but it is because I suppose the Australian accent is quite similar to British anyway.
Yeah.
But it is quite poor. I think it's worse than Suicide Squad.
Oh, it's worse. It's definitely worse than Suicide Squad. But I think that was because this was to be like cartoonish, and it it isn't much. It's similar to Keely Cuoco's accent in the animated series, and I guess she was trying to capture more the cartoon like Arlene Sorkin version of the character.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think she missed the mark just a little bit. I think it was too over exaggerated.
I do think her performance is great. Like I think she's really funny, has great lines, and she does for the most part. I would say the action scenes very well done.
Oh, I think she absolutely carries the action in this film. I think it's always exciting.
And one thing I did love about this film that we haven't seen in any previous interpretation of the character is how she blends sort of her acrobatic and gymnastic skills really well with like her psychiatrist. Like you can tell there's little line drops here and there where you can tell like she was a psychiatrist and stuff, you know. And,
did you think that felt forced?
I suppose in some regard yes, but I like we would say, you know, but no, I did like her in this film. What about yourself, buddy?
Yeah, I thought they tried too hard to sort of make her Deadpool.
Yeah.
You know, and this whole film, like in the UK, this film's a 15 instead of like the standard DC 12.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And honestly, I think it really doesn't need to be. They're swearing for swearing's sake.
Yeah.
You know, all the lines are kind of clunky because they just added fuck in the middle of each sentence.
I do agree. I had my notes that are rated. There's no more gore or guts. It's just more swearing. It really.
Yeah.
You know, it could have done with a 12. Just cut down the swearing. You could have got the 12. I think.
I think so too. I think they've limited themselves unnecessarily just for the sake of, you know, swearing for swearing's sake.
I think so too. I think you know, I think because can we say that she fourth wall breaks? Is that a spoiler?
Well, I mean, you know, we hear her narration throughout all the trailers, and I think, you know, obviously she's addressing the audience, and I think it's not necessarily a fourth wall break, in that she might not be it's hard to speak about this because you know, fourth wall breaking is obviously so out of the box and
100%.
But she's obviously insane, so she may just genuinely be speaking to nothing.
Yeah, that is true. That is true. Yeah.
It makes sense enough for this character, but they clearly saw that was successful in Deadpool, and it felt a little contrived.
I do agree. In terms of, can we mention Black Canary?
Oh yeah, we can talk about Black Canary.
Because they were Huntress and Black Canary and Renee Montoya all in the trailers.
Yeah. All common knowledge.
Yeah. I really liked Canary in this film. It's very much a departure from what we've seen in Arrow. I haven't seen Arrow, but from what I'm aware, and from the comics, this Black Canary is very different. So to any viewers who haven't seen it yet, probably don't expect your traditional Dinah Lance. You know.
Yeah, she does remind me of obviously in the Arrow TV series. There's Sarah Lance. There's Dinah Laurel Lance, and then there's Dinah Drake. Mm-hmm. So she reminds me most of Dinah Drake. In the portrayal, and I really enjoyed Black Canary.
Enjoyed her. Yeah, she handles her own action scenes phenomenally, I think. And if that is, there is a few scenes of her singing.
Yes.
I think that's not really a major spoiler to the film, but if that is her singing, flawless.
Oh, it was incredible.
Oh, fantastic! Really,
I think it must have been. Like, what did you think of her acting? Because I think they probably put a call out for actresses / singers.
Yeah.
And I think like her big moment in the film is her singing performance.
I think so too.
And I think they probably favoured the singing ability over the acting ability.
I think out of the three new characters we see, we'll include Cassandra Cain in that as a fourth.
Sure.
I think Huntress is probably the weakest, and then Cassandra Cain. I think Black Canary and Renee Montoya are probably the better two for me. But that's not like all of them are great, I think, in the film. But just for me, Black Canary is probably my favourite new one.
I do think they definitely struggle to balance showing enough of making it Harley Quinn's film and giving enough screen time to all the other characters. Because I would describe this film as like a fun romp, but it's certainly not well developed character wise.
No, it's a strange one, mate, because obviously if I were to divide the screen time up with characters, I would say 50% Harley Quinn, and then the rest is probably the Birds of Prey. But the thing is, Black Canary, it's weird. It's divided weird because Black Canary gets way more screen time than even Huntress and Renee Montoya.
Yeah.
It feels like a Harley Quinn film than like Black Canary and then everyone else, But
Like fuck. Every time my screen goes dark on my laptop, I shit myself that it's turned itself off.
no, I think hopefully we're going fine. But yeah, I mean, I really, one thing I guess I wanted to mention, this sort of ties in with Black Canary, is the absence of costumes. Well, not costumes, but like traditional superhero outfits. So obviously
Sure.
we've seen like adaptations of Wonder Woman, Black Widow, if we're talking about female superhero films. But I think it's quite refreshing that they're just in their normal street clothes and it feels like a low level film where there's high stakes for the characters rather than a world ending threat. I thought that was
Yeah.
refreshing for me, and it wouldn't have made a difference if there was costumes.
Yeah, I like that for an introduction of a character. Sort of Fantastic Four had its problems, but what I really enjoyed about that was the prototype suits.
In 2015 one?
Yeah, because I don't think you should start off their first film with their final suit.
No, definitely.
You know, I think it shows a character progression when they start off one way and end a different way.
I think so too, mate. 100%. Like, I think, like, even if they did have costumes, it wouldn't have fit the environment in which the film was set either.
Yeah, just on the street in fishnets
Yeah.
probably wouldn't have been a look,
No, probably not, mate. But any other characters you wanted to mention, bud?
Well, Cassandra Cain, I think, was poor.
Yeah, that child was, like, don't get me wrong, like, she's, for her age, I'd imagine she's maybe like 12 or something. She's
Probably
good,
not.
but I think you could have there's better actresses out there. I think her age.
Yeah.
I think McKenna Grace would have been fine. I'm a big fan of her as an actress. I think.
I believe the character is Asian in the comics.
Oh really?
As well.
Okay.
So
I did not know that.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I may be mistaken, but I'm pretty sure, or at least in the recent runs of the comics, I believe. Please don't sleep me in the comments if otherwise. But I thought she did a perfectly admirable job, but pretty much. It was clear that, every time they drafted this script, they were like, let's give more to Harley.
Yeah.
And every other character kind of suffered except for Black Mask.
Yeah, I would agree.
That.
I would agree. Like, I suppose like Cassandra Cain is, I don't know, is she a member of the Birds of Prey in the comics?
She is not. Originally, this sort of idea was actually pitched for the Suicide Squad sequel.
Okay.
By Gareth Russell, I think, if I had to say. I don't know if I've just made up a person, but I'm pretty sure it was Gareth Russell.
Yeah.
And he pitched this, and Warner Brothers sort of started developing it, and then Margot Robbie took it out of his hands and started developing it as the pitch for Birds of Prey.
Okay.
So it was actually going to be this sort of idea for the Suicide Squad sequel.
Yeah.
So no, she isn't a member of Birds of Prey in the comics, but neither's Harley Quinn.
Oh, true. Yeah, that's true. Like, one thing I really enjoyed in this film was, I guess, the subtle undertones. It's not really subtle, I guess, just the vibes of like the patriarchy in this like environment in which the film is set. With the police force and obviously the absence of for Harley Quinn the Joker.
Yeah.
And I did like that, like fight the power element, so to speak, and I thought it was really refreshing because Wonder Woman does get a lot of credit for being the first sort of big superhero film to feature a female, but I think Birds of Prey shouldn't feel like left out of that conversation at all. Like, I think this is a perfectly serviceable and really strident, I guess is the word. Like, it really pushes forward those values, and I respected that, and I really appreciated it.
And it's definitely overtly stated in sort of the music. There's a lot of musical motifs that point to its feminist assertion.
The music is fantastic. I think a great mix of like old but also modern stuff.
Oh, it's pretty phenomenal, except for one pretty rank cover of Black Betty by Ram Jam.
Oh really? I didn't catch that one.
That was in the third act. I did not appreciate that.
Okay, but apart from that,
absolutely wonderful.
Absolutely. Any other notes from you there, buddy?
I just wanted to talk a bit about our cinema experience, because I've never heard people clap at the America, but I've never seen that happen.
That was
before.
the first time it's happened.
Maybe we had Americans in the audience. I don't know. I was like, what
there's only
are you doing?
I was expecting a few people to join in, but there was just...
I was just like, what are you doing? And then thankfully there wasn't too much chatting, but there was minimal chat, which I don't appreciate.
There was a laughter at what the first joke in the film that I thought was going to continue throughout the film. Like at the very start of the first joke. Like with,
was there a bit of an obnoxious laugh that you expected to continue?
No, I just I heard a laughter that was like, I think...
like, this will cause a problem?
No, not that's a problem. I just think there's going to be a lot of laughter in this film. And there is a lot of humour in the film, but I wouldn't say, like... I don't know how to phrase this, but, like, it's probably not as funny as I was expecting. Like, there's not as much...
Yeah.
Like, there's a few gags and stuff. Obviously, Harley Quinn's a comedic character by nature, but... maybe, I don't know, maybe it was I think we both agree maybe the script's not...
It's not 100%,
It's not top tier, is it? But I don't know. I did think it was comedic in parts, for sure.
It was more... the humour was more intelligent than I expected. I did think it was going to be sort of like dumb gags and like sex jokes.
Yeah.
You know, and I appreciated some of the more darker, dark humour elements to it, because that's sort of my vibe.
Yeah, we'll definitely get into that in the spoiler section as well.
Yeah, 100%. Was there anything else you had to say for non-spoilers?
That was all out for non-spoilers for me, buddy.
Yeah.
It wasn't obviously not as evidenced by the trailer. It's not like a world-ending threat sort of movie, so there's not much really that happens.
Yeah,
but
I don't think our spoiler section's going to be massive.
No, not at all, really, mate. But
it'd be at this point that we'd suggest, if you haven't seen the film, turn off, and of course come right back after you have.
Absolutely. Because
you'll hear top tier chat. So,
do you want a massive hitter piece of shit?
Oh yeah, 100%. Before you turn off, you need to hear the verdict. I want to ask you, Matthew.
Okay.
Massive hit or piece of shit?
Massive hit.
I
loved it. I didn't really like it.
I was expecting to really not like it, and I'm very glad that I did.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, it depends. Like, ask me a year now. Like, I doubt my opinion will change that much, but you never know with movies. Like, my opinion does change on rewatch sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
But no, for first experience, I did enjoy it. I had a good time.
Mm-hmm.
So in regards to spoilers, then obviously we've said not a lot happens, but there is a few things in there.
Certainly things do happen, but I think it's incredibly limited in surprises.
Yeah.
You know, yeah. I think if you've seen a trailer, you've seen. I mean, you haven't seen the movie, but you know, you have a very solid idea of what happens.
Absolutely. But do you want to kick us off with any opening points, yet, buddy?
I just have a few points. It's quite. Don't look at them. It's limited. I think this definitely did rob some elements from Deadpool. Certainly.
Think so? Yeah.
Well, you know, there's obviously you can't say that like R-rated humor and violence is Deadpool-esque, but you know, you have the fourth wall breaking, the narration, and also the sort of like back and forth, like rewinding temporal shifts.
Okay.
Which I did not enjoy at all.
I admit, yeah. Especially if you're gonna break that film narrative, I think you have to do it quickly and maybe like a 2-minute scene max. There's a scene obviously when Harley Quinn goes to the police station.
Yeah.
Like that. There's maybe like a 20-minute temporal shift from that.
Yeah, it's just like a few hours earlier.
Yeah.
I didn't enjoy that at all because you know, I'm dumb. You know, I want a nice linear story that I can understand.
Yeah. I don't mind the odd flashback, but I think you're right. Maybe it does borrow that from the Deadpool franchise.
Yeah,
really.
You know, I think there's definitely a big distinction between like flashback and just like showing another movie, really, because obviously we have the Huntress's backstory, which I think was told quite effectively. You know, Mary Elizabeth Winstead gets no screen time. You know, half of the quote unquote Huntress's screen time is young Huntress.
Yeah.
So I mean, Mary Elizabeth Winstead is hardly in this film.
Yeah, it's a pity too, because that character seemed really intriguing, you know?
Yeah, just sort of deadpan. Like, I sort of, in the trailers, you don't get much context. Her performance is a little weird, but she's meant to be a weird character because she's been raised by assassins. Yeah. So she has no social skills. She
reminded me a bit of a lecture from the Daredevil TV show, a little bit, I guess, in terms of, like, weird assassin. And weird assassin. But you know what I mean?
Sure, yeah.
I just wanted to point out, like, in terms of the temporal shifts, actually, like, some bits that like caught me off guard is when the film goes back to like people that Black Mask has killed, or rather cut their faces off. I didn't actually notice that the guy who he tried to set up a deal with in the club was the guy who he took the face off.
Yeah, I needed that pointed out.
Yeah, I thought that was quite like, whoa, that took me back by surprise a little bit, because that was a very dark scene. And I suppose it was a little comic reference like the Joker cutting his face off in the New 52.
Yeah, maybe well.
But no, that, because I didn't actually notice, like, I didn't know that in that scene that's where they were going. So to see like the face cut off like in Victor Zaz's hand, that did take me by surprise a little bit.
I want to take his face.
Oh. Do you want to talk about Zaz?
You were disappointed?
It's just the Victor Zaz that I really like is I like.
Did you ever watch Gotham?
I watched season 1 and I think he's in that for a bit.
Yeah, Anthony Carrigan.
He's stupendous, really. But this one was, I wouldn't know he was Victor Zaz.
Yeah.
Until like his name was said.
I was glad he at least had the scars, because I know
Yeah.
people were concerned about that, and I was sort of concerned. I was concerned about comic accuracy. You know,
it is a vital part of a otherwise bland character, isn't it?
yeah, you know, if he doesn't have like the scars to distinguish him from any other killer, he just kills people.
Yeah,
You know, like
yeah,
there's
yeah.
nothing interesting. He's just a goon.
Yeah, yeah. Like I do think the concept of Victor Zaz is really interesting. Like Gotham's most notorious serial killer. Like that's a good idea for a character that you can
Yeah.
go far with.
But he was just someone's second in command.
Exactly, and that's never that. Like I don't mean to harken back to like comic accuracy, because I don't care as long as the performance is good and the characterization is
Yeah.
good. I can care less. But no, I think in this film, it was a little disappointing for me. I
Yeah.
didn't know he was in the movie, but I was just
Oh, you didn't?
no.
Wow, Matthew, you're really not up on the trades,
I'm
are
not.
you?
I'm not really. Man. I'm slipping. But no, I was a little disappointed. I'll be honest. Yeah.
I'm surprised. Like, honestly, at what point did you realize that was Victor Zaz?
When
Did
they said
ever
Zaz,
actually say his
they
name?
said Zaz once. I was just like, oh. I assumed it was Zaz because like, I don't know, like.
No, you're right. Like, it is
Yeah.
Victor Zaz, but yeah, I was also disappointed.
Yeah.
In all honesty.
Well, from one villain to another, like Black Mask, I think was excellent. Yeah, as we've said, especially in the club scenes.
Yeah.
Like you were saying one scene that sort of made you giggle a bit was when he
So
asked the lady to undress.
There's a scene obviously where he gets angry at some rowdy customers, and I believe the woman was actually Bojana Novakovic from Instinct, you know, with Alan Cumming, which is a really good.
He's still a movie knowledge, guys.
It's a TV show.
TV show,
but it's a really
better.
good procedural police drama.
He's a full package.
It's actually really good. So yes, when like she got up on the table, it wasn't the part where he asked her to take her dress off. That would have been a weird thing for me to laugh at. But just the cinema was so like deadly silent, and then like he just said like dance for me, and then she was there's like the awkward like robot.
Yeah.
So then like I cracked the chuckle.
That was quite humorous as well. Like it was quite a dark scene, I suppose. Like the film it is quite consistent tonally, I would say, but there are some dark scenes in there for sure.
Yeah, like at least the characters are tonally consistent. You know, the film might not be, because it's flashing between so many different characters. I think it's impossible to manage that all into one tone.
Yeah,
But
for sure.
But you know, at least all the characters are consistent in their characterization. You know,
Yeah.
someone doesn't make like a ridiculous decision that you're like, why would they do that?
Yeah.
Aside from Black Mask, just like casually getting like his driver and like, you know, and his second in command to go pick up the diamond for him.
Yeah.
It was like the most low key thing. Like he trusted his driver to go in and get it, and she just walks out. It's like, got it.
Yeah, no, that's the thing. Like he doesn't really do anything for himself. Even at the end, like he lets all his goons try and get the diamond again.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of get that, but then why do you know if you're just like a rich guy who doesn't have any fighting ability, you know, you would just send out, like if you're just a crime boss, you're gonna send people out.
Yeah.
But then why do you create like a criminal persona
Yeah.
of Black Mask?
Yeah,
You know?
the Black Mask does look cool as well, I think.
People like, have you seen all the like the media buzz of like all the shots of him not with the Black Mask? Like it wasn't revealed until maybe a month or so ago that he actually was gonna have it.
I think it looked cool.
Oh, it did look cool, but I mean, it was only one scene.
Yeah,
So
true.
one section of the movie
Yeah.
carried over a few scenes. So I wasn't disappointed in that though.
No, me neither.
'Cause-
Ewan McGregor's fantastic.
Yeah, he absolutely carried it.
Yeah.
So I think we should maybe talk about the distinct lack of the Joker in the film.
I was about to bring it up myself, yeah.
So Kathy Yan actually commented on this, who directed the film. She said that if we actually saw Joker physically, it would detract entirely from the point of the film that Harley doesn't need him. But that's actually just bullshit. That's a very powerful statement, but it's definitely just because he was filming Morbius.
I would say yeah.
No, that was reported at the time, and Jared Leto said, yeah, I can't do it because I'm doing Morbius, and then Kathy Yan was like, I can use this.
Yeah.
It's a very eloquent argument to not have Joker in the film, and it, justifies it in my head, but it's definitely not the reason he's not in it.
You're probably right, you're probably right. Like, I think, even if he was in it, I think some audience members, maybe the majority, would be focused on Joker, because he's such an integral part of DC movies in general. Like, when the Joker comes on screen and for this film, if Jared Leto appeared for like 2 minutes and then went off screen again, I think people would be less invested in the characters of the Birds of Prey and Harley Quinn.
Yeah.
But I think, did I miss him? No. But that's probably because I wasn't expecting it. Like, I probably deep in the police station.
Oh, was that who that was?
Yeah.
I had no idea who that was meant to be.
Yeah.
Because, my eyesight isn't exactly
No.
isn't exactly on point.
I think it was Boomerang. It looked a bit like Jai Courtney with a beard, so I assume that was who that was. Although it was a bit weird that it was in America, not Australia.
Yeah.
But
if we're talking just briefly about the Joker again, I'm really disappointed in how like the DCU has kind of just shit itself. in the pretty much the only surviving franchises left in the DCU are Wonder Woman, Aquaman, Harley Quinn,
Flash,
and then Shazam. You have potentially make good movies about. I'm just so disappointed in the wasted potential of the Joker, because Batman and Joker, that's
a franchise building.
That's the most
character
amazing villain hero dynamic in comic books.
Agreed. Yeah.
And they fucked it. Let's be honest.
Yeah. Oh no, I agree.
I think they could still salvage it if they actually cared enough to do it. Because
I don't think they do.
I think Jared Leto, obviously, like, I mean, slap a shirt on him and take the fucking grill out and paint over damaged, and it's an okay look.
I think change the look. Like, say one movie he decided to switch things up after his breakup with Harley and just change the look completely. That's how you escape the criticism.
Like, do you not think like a slicked back mob boss gang leader? I think that's a great way. I think that's a great 21st century adaptation of the character.
100%.
Because sort of when we talked about like the superhero film pitches, you have like, free agent of the people, sort of like create chaos.
Yeah.
Joker, you have mob boss and you have gang leader.
Exactly.
And I think they just really needed to lean into that. They went too far with the look.
Yeah.
But I think they can still salvage it.
I think so too, mate. 100%. That's the thing. Like, this franchise, if we're comparing it to the start of the MCU, which we've done in our DC episode,
and I also did that I did that in the comments of a Bandit Incorporated video, and I got absolutely fucking slated.
The start of the DCEU is probably better than the first 8 movies of the MCU, in my opinion.
Yeah.
And I think there's so much potential. Man of Steel, for what it's worth, probably warrants a sequel, I think.
Yeah, absolutely.
Batman vs Superman, fair enough, made a lot of money. I think
it did not make a lot of money.
Nearly $1 billion, I guess, but
did it?
I think it made 966, I think.
Right. But it cost like 500 million to make.
True.
Including marketing.
Wonder Woman, at least they're continuing that franchise. Aquaman. We've already reviewed
We've already reviewed one. We don't need to say we'll review it. It's already there.
Check it out, guys.
I think I said it was like kind of average.
Yeah. Aquaman made a lot of money. Good sequel.
Yeah.
I think there's so much wasted potential here. That I say wasted, like, those are all good movies I mentioned, but like Justice League was okay, but it bombed financially. I think with Birds of Prey, if this does well and they invest time into the characters, like you said, and develop and flesh out Jared Leto's Joker out a bit more, and even if... Is Affleck coming back? He probably would. I think they would get him back if they needed him. if they needed it.
Well, I mean, he was meant to carry the 2021 Batman film, and then obviously he pulled out of that, and now we have Pattinson. But
Is that a prequel, do you think, in DC?
no, Matt Reeves has said is completely disconnected,
Okay.
which I think's a mistake, because I think Pattinson would have been a good young Affleck.
I think so too, mate. I don't know. It pains me to see people, like, obviously, like like a few years ago, like I was a big DCU critic. I was fiercely defending Civil War as better than Batman vs Superman and all this, which it may well be, but it's just not.
I think you chose a bad example
yeah,
there.
like no, like now looking back, like it pains me to see this franchise get hated on unnecessarily. I think every new DCU film gets unnecessary hate,
Yeah.
and I used to be one of those people, like 100%. Like as soon as I hear like people complaining about Suicide Squad when it came out, I was just like, yeah, like it's not a good movie, I didn't like it. But looking back now, it's a good movie, and films do take a lot of effort to make.
Yeah.
And I think the DC more than most franchises gets unnecessary hate. I don't know if you agree, but obviously not with this film, because this film has received positive reviews and garnered positive reviews, but that's only a recent change.
Yeah.
I would say since the turn of Wonder Woman, it's only now that this franchise is beginning to flesh out its characters and grow more and develop more, and it has begun to turn around.
Mm-hmm.
And critics have begun to see the DCU as like a glass half full rather than glass half empty. But it just depends where the franchise goes. Like you say, if they care more about the characters and that, and maybe decide if they want to salvage the Joker and Batman, they can do that. I just hope they do, because there's a lot of potential here.
Yeah, I think there's... I mean, I don't like Jared Leto personally, but I think there is unmined potential in his Joker portrayal.
Mm-hmm. No, agreed, buddy, agreed.
So... Oh, I was so confident that they were going to have a post-credit scene. I'd written it in my notes. Let's take that out. Those rat bastards.
Yeah, that was cruel.
That was cruel.
It was very Homecoming-esque, I think.
At least they had two end credit scenes.
Yeah.
They had something to pay off the wait.
What's the Homecoming was, like Patience or something?
That's the post credit scene, but like the mid credits one is the Vulture in prison.
Good point.
With Scorpion.
Yeah.
So what I had another point just about the actual.
Yeah, of course.
Well, actually, no, I have two. So, Canary finally does her cry at the end of the film.
Yeah.
Which I thought, I was waiting for it for the whole film, and I was disappointed because, obviously that is a change from the comics. It doesn't exert her so much that she passes out. So that was obviously an excuse to limit the budget, so that they didn't have to show her doing that every scene.
Yeah. Do you think is she a metahuman, or is there a device she wears, or what do you think?
This interpretation is a metahuman, and she is usually in the comics a metahuman, but the Laurel Lance version of Black Canary and Arrow has to use a device, except when she's Earth 2 Black Siren, then she is a metahuman.
Gotcha.
I need better things in my life.
Don't be silly. Is it, like, ladies out there?
Nope.
He's the full package, trust me. But like, I was a little taken aback. I thought they had killed Bruce the hyena.
Yeah.
I was devastated.
I thought they were going for that.
I'm glad they didn't, because that hyena, I love dogs. He reminds me a bit of Ollie, actually. A little bit.
You like dogs?
Yeah.
Or hyenas, not cats?
I'll research this. I'm quite interested.
I'm actually, because obviously they look like sort of like they look like a German Shepherd, is it? Like that kind of vibe?
Hyenas are not members of the dog or cat families. Instead, they're their own family called Hyenidae.
Okay, we're both idiots. Nice.
Yeah.
Yes.
But no, I thought the CGI was excellent for the most part.
On
the hyena,
yeah, they actually filmed with dogs.
Oh, did they?
So like, they weren't staring at nothing. There was a dog there, and then they CGI'd it to become a hyena.
I said to you before, like, have they got an actual hyena there? Because it does look quite.
Did you ask me that?
Yeah, I think so. Oh, maybe it was you or Jack, but.
I don't know, because I only found out recently that it actually been dogs, because I had actually believed that to be a hyena. Did you think for the whole time that was fully CGI?
I see. I think it was. You told me it was CGI, but like if I didn't know that, I would have said real hyena.
Okay.
But no, like it does provide a lot of moments of levity for the film. I would say. Obviously, it's called Bruce after Bruce Wayne.
Yeah.
Which is Harley Quinn references, and also like the hyena laugh is quite comedic, for the most part.
What I was disappointed in was Doc, that rat bastard. He was such a sweet old man, and he betrayed her.
Snake.
What a snake!
Like, I didn't expect that at
Yeah.
all. I'm trying to think.
I wanted, one good guy in her life.
Yeah.
Because,
I
I think sort of by the end of the film it is kind of like men are garbage, but that's obviously not the intention of the film.
I know. Yeah.
I just want better for Harley.
Yeah, 100%, mate. Like I was a little taken aback by Doc's portrayal there.
Yeah.
Um,
What a rat bastard.
you know what? One of the biggest praises I can give this film is like how interconnected every character is. Like every character is not related, like family meaning, but like related story wise. Obviously, we've seen with Huntress and is it the Bertinelli family?
Bertinelli, yeah.
Bertinelli
family.
Yeah, that's from the comics. I'm aware as well.
Yeah, yeah.
Bertinelli family. We see.
Well, actually, there's two versions of Huntress in the comics. Earth 1 Huntress is actually Helena Kyle, the daughter of Batman and Catwoman, which is how she's portrayed in the 2002 Birds of Prey TV series.
Okay.
And then there's Helena Bertinelli, who's the daughter of the crime family.
But yeah, like obviously we see like the Bertinelli family, and then Cassandra Cain is also involved somewhat.
Yeah.
And no, I just really like that.
Yeah, I thought
every
the
character's connected.
I thought the interconnectivity was smart.
Yes, likewise. Yeah, 100%, mate.
I didn't feel at the end like these characters have all come from nowhere.
No.
Probably the one I felt most like that with was Renee Montoya.
Were you a fan of Renee Montoya in this film?
I was not at all.
Yeah. What about her character?
I didn't love the performance, but I suppose she was sort of jaded by the corruption of the police and in the fact that she didn't get credit for the big case that she cracked.
Yeah.
So I sort of understand the kind of dry, more subtle performance, but yeah, I think they could have worked more to make her actually useful.
Okay, fair.
Because all of them are experienced fighters. One's an assassin, one's a gymnast, one's a metahuman, and then there's a cop.
Yeah. Yeah. No, like
I just mean in a super powered world.
Yeah. Oh, no,
I think you need better standards.
I think if you're going to make a sequel, like
kind of thing,
if you had to cut one character,
yeah,
probably Renee Montoya. But I did like her. I thought her performance was good, and she does have some moments of levity as well.
Yeah.
But I guess one thing we haven't mentioned yet is the death of Black Mask
and of Victor Zsasz.
Oh,
No,
yes,
you're like, I don't give a shit.
No.
You're like, yeah.
Yeah. No, like yeah. Did you think his death was well handled, or?
I mean, again, it's just wasted potential because I really don't like when they set up such a good villain and then do them so dirty with the death.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, in this kind of film, it doesn't work for them to let him go. If they're so willing to kill goons, they'll kill him, obviously.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
They're not going to have any reservations about killing him.
Mm-hmm.
So it made sense in the context of the film he's in. But, like, my God, I don't think the DCEU has ever before.
He's excellent. He really is.
Yeah.
I think, I thought his death scene was it was well executed, but I mean, executed. But no, I do agree. There's definitely wasted potential there. Victor Zsasz, yeah, kill him off. Yeah, but yeah.
But did you not want to see like how you could improve
Victor Zsasz?
Or were you just disappointed? Like even in the performance, like do you think he was miscast?
I thought it got better as the film went on. He becomes more sort of
more zazzy.
Sinister. Yeah, that's what we did there. But like obviously, like more when he sees the scars and stuff, you can say, oh, maybe this is a more comic accurate interpretation. But yeah, I don't know. I was just a little disappointed with their deaths. Yeah, it was well handled, but wasted potential.
Yeah. So I wanted to talk a little bit, just briefly. I think this will this be a podcast episode now?
It is.
So it's
about nearly the 40-minute mark.
Yeah.
So
now like, now you're gonna have to edit the start and just write like, Callum's a dickhead or whatever at the start. Just like, well, like I didn't criticize you for saying podcast because like I thought it may well become a podcast because it seems that superhero films usually do.
Yeah. Well, I'm happy keeping discussion.
I mean, I don't know how we reviewed like all three of the Wolverine films in half an hour, but it takes us 45 minutes to talk about Birds of Prey.
The Wolverine one, the X-Men one.
Yeah,
that's so many films and in 40 minutes.
That's in 45 minutes.
We spent 40 minutes talking about Birds of Prey.
I think we definitely have room to go back. I'm satisfied with our DCEU episode.
Yeah.
I don't know that I'm satisfied with our MCU episode.
It's like
because
3 minutes on Ant-Man or something.
Yeah, Ant-Man. We were like shit. Let's get this done.
Yeah. That was our first one. We were a little nervous.
I think there are I think there's room to do a couple of redos on some episodes. If we talk about westerns, we can throw in Logan and really go deep in it.
Yeah, 100%, buddy.
So I want to talk about the original leaked plot.
Okay, I haven't heard about this.
I did tell you about this.
I've heard about this.
But I don't think you'll remember this at all.
I promise I do pay attention to our conversations. It's just
this
busy
was
man.
about 6 months ago. So this was a report from Beyond the Trailer. This is in no way confirmed, but this is what I heard from that source of information. Okay. And it was in the original test screening of the film, which apparently tested like really well, Black Mask had the plot is very similar. Black Mask has the diamond stolen by Cassandra Cain, and he's desperate to get it back, and it's not revealed what's on it, so it's not the Bertinelli diamond. But then I don't really understand how, in this case, how Huntress ties into the plot at all, because she only really continues to fight at the end because it's the Bertinelli diamond. Yeah. And sort of that level of connectivity. So I don't know how this works, but apparently on the diamond, instead of it being sort of like the Bertinelli crime family information, it's dick pics of Black Mask. So
no way.
So like this was in the leak of information where it was revealed that Black Mask is also gay, which obviously did to the film. Yeah. So, again, this is unconfirmed, but it may well be true. That he's so desperate to get it back, it's because it's dick pics. Yeah. And then that's the only real leaked plot line I heard, but
that's quite funny.
But that shouldn't be funny, that shouldn't be the motivation.
That shouldn't be the villain motive, no.
The motivation of an entire film.
No, definitely not. I'm glad that was cut.
Yeah, and sort of like to have like the first sort of, major gay DC character sort of like embarrass himself by chasing up his.
It's a little. It is insulting.
It's a bit insensitive, saying
insensitive
that he would be so careless. He's just brazen.
I think if you're going to introduce the first main gay character in the franchise, you don't want to demean his character, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with taking dick pics, but you gotta take care of them, make sure they go to the right people.
Yeah, but for me, I thought the ending was very predictable. Like halfway through the film, I was like, Harley Quinn's getting this $500,000. I think so.
Oh really?
Yeah, I thought so. But for me, like I don't have much else to say. It's probably my favourite scene in the film is when Harley Quinn blows up Base Chemicals. Yeah, but that was a lovely shot as well of like the exploding multicolours in the background. Like I love that.
100%. Yeah. I wanted to ask you: are you more interested in seeing a Birds of Prey sequel or a Gotham City Sirens?
Well, remind me of the characters in Gotham City Sirens. Catwoman, Poison Ivy,
and Harley. So that would you rather see a film with that trio or this cohort?
That's an interesting one. It depends on who's cast as Poison Ivy and Catwoman. I think if we went with Zoe Kravitz and like Jessica Chastain, for example.
Oh my god, that'd be my nightmare.
I'd be interested, but Jessica Chastain's probably a bit old, I would say, maybe. I don't know.
Not necessarily,
She does look young.
And I think there's room to cast a sort of like an older, more wise Poison Ivy.
Okay.
I've heard Lady Gaga as an option.
Oh, that'd be good. She's good in A Star Is Born, but no, I'm happy with these ones. I'd stick with these characters,
Yeah.
What about you?
I think I'd be interested in seeing a sequel to this in addition to Gotham City Sirens. I'd say if I was to see one next, I would rather see Gotham City Sirens just to see something a bit different.
Yeah, 100%.
Margot Robbie has said she is pursuing that. I think David Ayer was going to produce or direct, but I think he's probably out at this point.
One thing I've got to give Margot Robbie credit for, she's a wonderful actress, and also you can really tell she cares about this character. And for an actor to take on that role and assume that identity as a comic book character, you got to respect that. We've seen it before with like Zachary Levi. He was I'm pretty sure he's a big Shazam fan as well. And I think Brie Larson also read up in the source material for Captain Marvel as well. Yeah. So I really like when characters assume that role really well.
Yeah. I would have liked sort of if they had, obviously they embraced the new 52 version of the Harley Quinn character for her introduction in Suicide Squad. Mm-hmm. So is your
no, she's just wanting not time.
Okay, cool. You decide on that.
Yeah.
So I think that really this was obviously Suicide Squad was the introduction of the first ever film adaptation of the Harley Quinn character. Yeah. I think they should have gone more classic.
You think so? Like black and red?
I think they went too modern too quickly. I think had they introduced sort of the more classic version in Suicide Squad and then changed her persona completely to the new 52 version, like as her character arc for the breakup, that would have made sort of more sense
that's a
to
good
me.
idea. Yeah. Perhaps.
You know, because she, you know, it just seemed like from the start she was sort of the separated version, like from the Joker.
Yeah, that is true.
You know, because the new 52 is obviously more, you know, autonomous and empowered after leaving the Joker,
Yeah.
but she wasn't there yet in Suicide Squad.
Yeah, you never really see them together at all. Really.
Yeah, so you know she
Other
just
than flashback. But...
yeah. So I never really felt like the love that she felt for Joker, and then how that goes away.
That's such a good point. Yeah, 100%. I didn't really think about that, but that's a really good point actually. Oh, definitely. Excuse me. sorry, I'm so sorry. I'm so tired. Any other
That's
points?
why
from you, buddy?
I had a wee nap before seeing
Did you?
this.
Oh,
Yeah.
I wish I did. Damn, I'm gonna lie in tomorrow before work. I think.
Mm.
But any other concluding points from you, buddy?
I think I've said my piece. You know.
Good. Well, as always, it's been great recording with you, buddy.
It's been a pleasure hosting you this evening.
Thank you very much, pal. Thank you to everyone who's listened to this and subscribed, shared,
Yes.
all that good stuff. And take care, guys. And we'll be back very soon with another Movie Mates video. So take care, guys. Have a nice night, and bye bye.
Bye bye.